Friends, in previous lectures we have discussed about the preliminary estimate and detailed estimate. In last lecture we have discussed about what is detailed estimate, what are methods for calculating detailed estimate, like long wall short wall method, which is also known as individual wall method or PWD method, and second method is center line method. Now, in this lecture, we are going to discuss about how to find out the quantities, that is bill of quantities, from the long wall short wall given. Myself, R.V. Zugdar, Assistant Professor, Sharan Institute of Technology, College of Engineering. This is example in which it is given that find out the quantities of various items of building shown in the following figure by using long wall, short wall, or individual wall or PWD method, and prepare bill of quantities, that is measurement sheet, in detail. The first item to be calculated is excavation for footing. Second item is concrete in a foundation. Third item is brickwork for footing, and fourth is brickwork in superstructure. This is figure given for reference. The figure shows that it is having dimensions 5 meter by 4 meter into in, and the wall thickness at superstructure is 0.3 meters. Also, the cross section for footing is given, in which the base width for footing is 0.9 meter, which is made up of concrete. The second step is of brickwork and having thickness of 0.6 meter. The third step is of brickwork having 0.5 meter. The fourth step is of 0.4 meter made up of brickwork and which is used for plinth level. And the last step is for superstructure having width or thickness of 0.3 meter and height of 3.5 meters. From all these details, we are going to calculate the quantity of all the items. As discussed in earlier lectures, in long wall short wall method, we have to divide whole building into number of walls. The first type of wall is long wall and second is short wall. It is not defined that the length of wall is more, then it is called as long wall, but as per our convenience we will take the wall having more length as a long wall. Now, by this method, the center to center length for long wall can be calculated by the formula the center to center length plus half width of item from both the sides. Now, from the figure, the center to center length can be calculated by into in dimension plus half width of item from one side and half width of item from other side. Now, the center to center length is 5 plus half width from one side, that is one half of zero point 0.3 plus half width from other side, that is one half of zero point 0.3. The total center to center length of long wall is 5.30 meters. Now similarly, for short wall we have to add 4 meters plus half width of item from one side and half width of item from other side at superstructure. It gives the total center to center length of short wall 4.30 meters. After finding out the length of long wall and short wall, now we have to find out the quantities of various items which are used in construction, starting from excavation to superstructure. Now this is tabular form for measurement sheet or bill of quantities, which is inclusive of serial number, item description, number of items, length, breadth, height, quantity, and last one is remark if any. Now first item to be calculated is excavation in foundation. Now for excavation in foundation there are two types of wall as per long wall short wall method. There are two long walls. The first item is excavation, in which we are going to calculate long walls first. The number of long walls are 2 and the length are 6.2 meter. This length is coming from the center to center length plus half width of item from one side and half width of item from other side. It is shown in remark that it is calculated by the center to center length, that is 5.3, plus half width of item, that is zero point 0.9 by 2, plus zero point 0.9 by 2, it becomes zero point 0.9, and the total length is 6.20 meters. Similarly, for short wall there are two number of short walls. The length is 3.4 meters, which is came out of calculation by deduction of half width of item from both sides, that is center to center length minus zero point 0.9 by 2 minus zero point 0.9 by 2, that is 4.3 minus zero point 0.9, and the answer is 3.4 meters. Now the breadth of item for excavation is the same for both the walls, long wall as well as short wall. The breadth is zero point 0.9 meter or 0.90 meter. The height or depth of excavation is 0.9 meter. From figure we can get the height of excavation. Now the multiplication of all these three dimensions, we can get the quantity of excavation for long wall and short wall separately. The quantity of excavation for long wall by multiplying these three dimensions is 10.04 meter cubes, and for short wall it is 5.51 meter cubes. The total quantity of excavation is addition of both quantities for long wall as well as short wall. It is 15.55 cubic meters. Now for concreting in foundation, similar to excavation, we will calculate first long wall quantity for concreting. Now the total length is same as above, since the width of item is same as that of excavation, which is calculated in excavation item, that is 5.3 plus width of item, that is zero point 0.9, it is equal to 6.2, and breadth of item is zero point 0.9, and the thickness of that particular concrete is differs, it is zero point 0.3 meter only. Now multiplication of all these dimensions will give the total quantity of concrete, which is 3.35 meter cubes. And for short wall, the length is the deduction of item width from center to center length, that is 4.30 minus zero point 0.9, it comes 3.40, and breadth is 0.9 meter, same as in excavation, and the height or depth of concrete is 0.3 meter only. Now the multiplication of these three dimensions gives the quantity of 1.84 m cube. The total of these two quantities will give the total quantity of concrete to be placed in PCC. It is 5.18 cubic meters. Now we are going to calculate the brickwork in foundation and plinth, for which the long wall are bifurcated in three different steps. First step of footing, second step of footing, and plinth walls. And short walls are also splitted into three different steps. First step of footing, second step of footing, and plinth walls. Now the numbers for both long walls and short walls are same, that is two numbers, because there are two number of long walls and two number of short walls in building. The total length of long wall for first step in footing is calculated by center to center length plus half width of item from one side, that is 0.3, plus half width of item from other side, that is 0.3, which is equal to 5.30 plus 0.6, and total is 5.90 meters. The multiplication of all this length, breadth, and depth gives the total quantity, which is equal to 5.9 into 0.6 into 0.3 meter, which is equal to 2.12 meter cube. For second step of footing, the length is calculated with similar method by adding center to center length with width of item, that is 0.5, and it gives 5.8 meter total length. The width of item is 0.5. For second step, the width is 0.5 meter and depth is 0.30 meter. The multiplication of these three dimension gives the total quantity of brickwork for second step in long wall is 1.74 meter cube. For plinth walls, that is third step of footing, the total length is calculated by adding center to center length plus width of item, that is 5.30 plus 0.40, it is equal to 5.7 meters. The width of item or breadth of item is 0.4 meter and depth or height is 0.6 meter. The multiplication of length, breadth, and height gives the total quantity of brickwork for plinth walls in footing is 2.74 meter cube. Similarly, for short walls, the total length is calculated by center to center length minus half width of item from one side minus half width of item from another side. In this first step, we can get the length by deducting the center to center length 4.3 minus 1 half 0.6, that is width of item, minus 1 half 0.6. The total becomes 4.3 minus 0.6, it is equal to 3.7 meters. The breadth of item is 0.6 and depth is 0.3. The total quantity of item by multiplying these three gives 1.33 meter cube. The second step is calculated similarly. The total length is 3.8 meters, the breadth is zero point 0.5 meters as shown in figure, the height of step is zero point 0.3 meter, and the multiplication of all these measurements will give quantity of brickwork for second step 1.14 meter cube. Now for plinth walls, there are two plinth walls for long short wall. The total length calculated by the formula for short wall, center to center length minus half width of item from one side minus half width of item from other side, and it comes 3.9 meter. The breadth is 0.4 meter and the height for plinth is 0.6 meter, and the multiplication of all these three measurements will give quantity of 1.87 meter cube. The addition of all these brickwork quantity from long wall 3 steps and short wall 3 steps will give the total brickwork quantity 10.94 cubic meters. Now the last item is brickwork in superstructure. The brickwork in superstructure consists of two long walls and two short walls. The long walls having length of center to center length plus half width of item from one side, that is 0.30 by 2, and half width of item from other side, that is 0.30 by 2. It comes that 5.30 plus zero point 0.3 as shown in remark, it is equal to 5.6 meters. For short wall, as per the formula, we can calculate the total length by deduction of item width from one side and half width from other side, that is 4.30 minus 0.30 by 2 minus 0.30 by 2, that comes 4.3 minus 0.30, it is equal to 4.0 meters. The total length for short wall in superstructure is 4 meters. The width of item or breadth is 0.3 meter, and total height of building, that is superstructure, is 3.5 meter in both cases, long wall and short wall. Therefore the multiplication of all these dimensions for long wall gives the quantity of 11.76 meter cube brickwork for long walls and 8.40 meter cube brickwork for short walls. Now the addition of both the brickwork quantities in superstructure gives the total quantity of brickwork in superstructure is 20.16 cubic meters. Now from this problem we can get, it is very precise and lengthy method for calculation of quantities, but the errors are minimum as compared to center line method. Therefore it is implemented in public works department and many government departments to minimize the errors and reduce the quantities for billing purpose. Thank you.